Yeah,
stuff
need
like
them
that.
to survive. Without their food, we could like die from starving. Yeah, I think so. It's really a long time ago. Like people used to torture animals, not even just kill them, eat them. Like just eat them. If there's no other way, maybe we could just eat animals. But I would never like, kill them. Yeah, you can't just kick a dog. Yeah, because like you're abusing it, you're torturing it for no reason. You're gonna be a bad influence to those people, Like you're standing against animal abuse, and then you're telling someone to go and kill them secretly. It means like you're not actually meaning it. Not so many people would not eat animals. Yeah.
Topic's the RSPCA, and I'll give you a few statements, you share your opinion.
Okay.
Does that sound good?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, so obviously it's all animal related. So the first statement is all about chickens and turkeys. Okay, so first of all, young chickens and turkeys, they often have their beaks trimmed to avoid them pecking and harming one another. The process has the potential to cause significant pain and suffering. Although the RSPCA will openly admit they don't like that process and claim they want to phase it out, they still permit it if it's performed by a trained professional. Now, do you think that process can ever be justified?
I think that is justified.
You think it is justified, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Second one is baby chicks. So, because they can't lay eggs, on their first day of life, most male chicks are separated from the females. They're put onto a conveyor belt and they're dropped into a massive macerator, which is like a huge blender, and ground up alive. Okay? Now, that's just generally. The RSPCA approved chicks, though, are actually gassed using argon. Now, this is a gas. It takes no longer than 6 minutes for the chicks to suffocate to death. However, obviously it's less than that sometimes. What do you think of that process?
I'm not sure. I think that's too much because like a chicken, you just kill it with a hammer or something,
But we're talking like on an industrial scale where there's like hundreds of thousands every single day. You haven't got the time to do one at a time.
Really?
Okay, third one. Dairy calves, male dairy calves particularly. So because male dairy calves are useless to the industry, the two most commonly used humane methods of disposing of them is to either hit them over the head with a spade or bolt gun them in their head on their first day of life. Now the RSPCA, they actually prefer farmers to use an electrical stunning method, and it reduces that ineffectiveness because they move around. Yeah, so it reduces the ineffectiveness down from 14% down to about 10%. Basically means of the roughly 9,500 calves that are put down each month, roughly only 950 of them aren't killed outright. What do you think of that process?
I think it's a good process.
You think it's a good process? Yeah. Okay, and finally is pigs. Yeah. Now, before I actually go through the statement, do you actually know or could you guess how pigs are usually disposed of in the UK?
Killed?
Yeah, how are they killed, do you reckon? What would you guess?
Poison.
Poisoned? Okay. Kind of. So the RSPCA approved way of killing pigs in the UK is to actually send them into a CO2 gas chamber. Okay. Now this is, I don't know if you know about CO2, but it's an adversive gas. Basically forms, you know when you have like a can of Coke, it goes up your nose the wrong way? Yeah. And it kind of burns you a little bit, yeah? So CO2, it burns your eyeballs and it also burns you from the lungs and essentially kills them from the inside out. It takes no longer than 3 minutes for them to be killed this way, often as little as 30 seconds. But bearing in mind you have that adrenaline, so it slows down time. So do you think that is an acceptable way to kill pigs?
I say so.
You think, well, it's your opinion?
I think so.
You think so? Yeah. Do you, I mean, have you ever, obviously these are all food animals, these particular ones. Have you actually ever considered where your food comes from in the past, or how it gets onto your plate, or what the process involves?
I know some of it. Some of it gets killed by animals. Like, chickens, goats.
Yep.
Cows. Like the milk comes there.
Yep.
And then the beef from the goats. And then just chickens meat.
Okay. So do you consume animals?
Like, what do you mean by that?
Do you eat animals? Do you eat
Yeah.
chickens and pigs and
Yeah, I
stuff
need
like
them
that?
to survive.
Yeah?
So without their food, we could like die from starving.
hmm So do you think that we wouldn't survive if we didn't eat animals?
Yeah, could be. But some people love vegetables.
So you've heard of like vegetarians before, for example, and you know they're still alive. You know what I mean? Have you heard of veganism? Yeah?
Yeah.
Do you know what the difference is between vegetarian and vegan?
Vegetarians eat like vegetables. I don't know if they eat animals, but vegans don't eat animals, and they eat mostly like vegan stuff, veggie burgers. I don't know, veg type of stuff, spinach, carrots. Yeah.
Okay, so let me just backtrack a little bit. So would you say, you kind of seem to be they seem to be fair processes for what I've described to you. Would you say you're against animal abuse? Some people are against it, some people don't really care.
Yeah, I think so. It's really a long time ago. Like people used to torture animals, not even just kill them, eat them, just eat them.
So do you think that's wrong?
Yeah, I think that's wrong. But if there's no other way, maybe we could just eat animals. But I would never like kill them.
No. I mean, if you saw, let's just use a dog as an example. So say somebody was walking past with their dog, and the dog wanted to go somewhere, and the owner didn't want him to, and he started kicking the dog. Would you be like, oh, that's not very nice? Or would you be like, oh, let him go on with it? Or do you think you'd get in there and say, excuse me, you can't do that to that dog?
Yeah, I'll say that.
Yeah?
Yeah, you can't just kick a dog. If
Why
you don't
not?
want the dog, just give it to the person where you bought.
But
like,
what makes that wrong? What makes the action itself wrong?
Yeah, because like you're abusing it, you're torturing it for no reason.
For no reason.
Yeah.
Right? What if the guy got a bit of a kick out of, that's the wrong word, enjoyed kicking the dog, got pleasure from kicking the dog? Would that then be justified?
No, I'd rather beat him up, or if not, call the police and
Yeah. So
I think beat him up.
the actions I described to you earlier, though, so a pig suffocating to death in a gas chamber, you know, there's never ever been a history of good uses of gas chambers. Would you consider that abuse? Where these pigs are screaming in terror, going, what's going on, trying to fight for their life while they're suffocating. Would you class that as abuse?
Yeah, it's like if you wanted to like be killed, maybe just kill it silently.
Silently, yeah? So what would you think that would look like?
I don't know, like maybe if the pig is just sleeping, you just use like something, I don't know, just kill it.
Get it out, right? Okay. So one of the reasons why they actually use CO2 gas chambers is because of the shape of the pig's brain and the shape of the pig's head. So their actual brain is actually held, it's not massively important, but it's kind of held, it's bone. It's got bone protective on the front and on the side, and it gets stronger as it gets older. So actually hitting them over the head wouldn't really work.
I don't know, shoot them with the gun.
Same sort of principle. Again, it's just particularly the front part over the brain. It's the reason why they don't use bolt guns on pigs, because it's just too difficult to get it right. My point being, I mean, it's over 88% of all pigs in the UK are killed through gas chambers. That's just gas chambers. Oh, sorry, that's just pigs. If you look at the way the chickens are killed, again, some are gassed to death. The majority, the baby chicks are just literally just killed, blended up alive. I mean, do you think if there was if you had a little baby chick in a blender, could you hit the button to have an egg?
Yeah.
You could quite happily kill a baby chicken.
No, not baby chicken, but if I was killing, maybe I'll kill like the big ones because they want big meat. So.
My point being is that the way the industry works currently, the industry standard, is that every version of it, we don't get told about it. Did you know any of that information I told you beforehand?
Yeah.
You did know a little bit of it, yeah? Because it tends to be kept quiet. It's not so much hidden, but we have a lot of whitewashing. So you see pictures like happy hens or happy cows or aren't they having a wonderful life in the field? That's kind of the picture that's portrayed to the public, but what's actually going on is so much more horrific with all the suffering and torture that's involved. Yeah? And there isn't really any way of consuming on an industrial scale. There isn't any way of consuming any animal products that doesn't involve abusing that animal beforehand. So if you are against animal abuse, well, can you be against animal abuse and still pay for it? Because when you're buying it in a shop, you're basically saying, I want some more of this, please. It's way supply and demand rights, isn't it?
I'm against animal abuse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So can you? What's the answer to this question? Then, can you be against animal abuse and still pay someone to abuse animals?
No.
No.
Yeah.
But every single time you buy one of these products, that's what you're paying for.
Yeah, but it's not like you're going to be a bad influence to like the people.
Second?
You're going to be a bad influence to those people, you know.
Yeah. In what way?
Like you're standing against animal abuse, and then you're telling someone to go and kill them secretly. It means like you're not actually meaning it.
No, but there's a lot of people that don't know what goes on, and you can excuse those people when you say to them, you know, if I said, did you know that pig was tortured? You'd be like, what the hell? You wouldn't know about it. And if you don't know about it, you can be forgiven for not taking the action to stop it from happening in the future. But yourself, for example, now you know that next time you go and buy a pork product or a chicken product, whatever, that you are basically saying, I want this item that I'm buying replaced with another tortured animal, please. And you now have that responsibility.
Well, I wouldn't like let them torture it, really. No.
You can't stop it. If you go to supermarkets, you buy food for lunch or whatever it might be, or takeaways occasionally.
I wouldn't buy from like animal food. I'd rather buy like vegan food.
Yeah. So do you think? So let me just explain the difference between vegetarian and vegan. So a vegetarian is someone who doesn't eat animal products. Yeah. They do still quite often consume dairy. They quite often consume eggs. Yeah. A vegan not only doesn't consume any animal products, no matter where they've come from. It's not about the diet, it's actually about being against the exploitation. It's basically saying, I don't want these animals to be exploited for a 5-minute meal that you're going to forget about a few minutes down the line, when you can actually be completely healthy without having those animal products. If you turned around now and said, you know what, I've had a bit of a light click moment, I don't want to abuse animals anymore, I don't want animals to be abused for me, and you said, okay, I'm now going to stop it, do you think you would be able to do that? Do you think that would be a struggle?
That would be a big struggle. Not so many people would not eat animals. Yeah.
But what do you think is the hardest part to do that would be?
Like, like if you don't have enough food or money to buy food that's not from animals.
Sure. In a supermarket, and you might not know this, I don't know how often you do kind of big shops or anything like that at all, but if you're in a supermarket, what are the cheapest foods in that supermarket?
Cheapest foods?
I'll tell you, it's your fruit, it's your vegetables, it's your grains, your rice, your pasta, it's your beans, it's your chickpeas, it's your lentils. All these foods are literally the cheapest foods in the supermarket. So yes, some vegan food is expensive, but then so some non-vegan food is expensive. Yeah. But if you're worried about money side of things, but when I stopped paying for this stuff to happen, my food bill went down to about 1/3 of what I was spending previously. That's because I tend to cook a lot of stuff myself. Yeah. If I gave you some resources, would you look them up?
Yeah, sure, why not?
Yeah? I'll give you a card. Just a second. So take this. If you scan this barcode, this QR code, it will take you to the website. And the second one down is a speech. It's about 60 minutes long. Yeah. It's called The Best Speech You'll Ever Hear by a guy called Yourofsky. And it just talks to you, very, very simply. It's quite an old speech, to be perfectly honest with you. It's like 20 years old. But everything is 100% relevant apart from the food choices that he talks about. Yeah? Also on there, if you thought, actually I do want to do it, lots and lots of people, it's your generation that are going to be making these changes. These things are, it's improving with time. If you look at other social injustices that have happened over, it's always been a long process. It's always going to be the next generation that it's going to affect, or that instigates those changes. Challenge 22, this is how to go vegan. It's a completely free online Facebook-based resource, and you'll have dietitians in there. You can ask questions, they'll give the answers. There will be a group of maybe 3, 4, 5, even 600 people that all want to stop paying for animal abuse, but they don't 100% know how to do it on a budget, what to eat. If you just stopped buying the food, you need to replace the nutrients somewhere, so how to do it healthily. So it's all really, really important. Okay, take that one with you. Please do research it online. Yeah. And think about what I've said. When you buy, the next time you go to a supermarket, you can go, I can buy this cow milk where the cow suffered, or I can just go to the next aisle and pick up soy, almond, oat. There's so many different types of milks now that don't involve a cow being tortured.
Yeah.
Just try one of them. See how you get on. What's your name?
Gazza.
Gazza. I'm Mark. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet
take
you
care.
too.
Yeah, thanks very much. You have a good think.